Hi everyone, it's Misty here from TheJollyFatElf. Happy Friday. Thank you so much for joining me. In today's video, I have the final card in my one stamp 3 ways for the Stamp Anything February release. It's also my last design card for now. And I want to have a giveaway. So be sure to listen in and stick around because I'll share with that in a couple of minutes. But in today's video, we're doing double masking. And I don't know when the last time I did this was, but I knew that I wanted them in the clouds. I didn't want to use the ocean liner die, which I could have, and they would have been, what is it called? The captain's nest or whatever, crow's nest. But I really wanted them to be surrounded by clouds. I really wanted this to feel very romantic and very much a love card, Valentine's Day card. I mean, it is, after all, Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's Day, or happy Galentine's Day, or happy Friday if you don't celebrate. We don't really celebrate. We give each other cards and that's about it. So yeah, so this is my last card for a while. I'm still going to be around, you guys. I am having surgery at the end of May, but I will be posting at least 2 cards a week, hopefully, and then my planning videos on the weekend. So I'm not going anywhere just yet, but I did go ahead and leave Stampin' Up for now. Not Stampin' Up, Stamp Anything for now. Okay, so this is a piece of Eclipse masking tape, and I am stamping this stamp onto that because I'm going to mask them. Again, I want them to look like they're in the clouds. And the heart you saw, I really wanted to have a heart behind them. And unfortunately, if I did a big heart, then you wouldn't be able to see them. So I had this extra heart lying around, and I went ahead and adhered it to my paper. And so we have masked them and then masked them again with the heart. So this is supposed to be tumbled glass, but as you can see here, I clearly had some green on my blender brush, and you know what? I don't mind it. I actually like the way it looks. It's really pretty, and it goes really well with her outfit and the overall vibe of the card. Again, this is just a random heart that I had on my desk, and I just put, masked them and then masked this. And I really, really love how this turned out. I'm going to slow this down in just a second so you guys can see the peel. Look at that. Oh, so good. Yes, it's a little bright. I'm sorry. I can't, if I darken this, then all of it looks dark. So anyway, I did write down the colors. The only one I'm not using is that YR28 because I don't have a YR28. It's on my list. I had no idea that I was missing it. So for the hair, I'm using E1909, YR27, and YR24. I'm going to start with the skin though. I'm again using E21, 51, 50, and then a bit of R20. I will come back later and darken them up just a tad because I made a mistake and needed to hide it some way. But I'm going to start with this skin tone. It makes them look jaundiced because of the lighting, but they're not that yellow in person, I promise. You'll be able to see when I add the picture at the end because I do have pictures taken for these finally. So yeah. Again, I haven't seen this movie since it came out, but I feel like this is one of the most iconic scenes from that movie. And it's just so pretty. And what it represents is just so pretty. Their love story was just so nice, even though it was like 2 days, but you know what I mean. So I don't know why, but I colored her nose and her mouth, and I was like, why did I do that? I was thinking, I guess, that she may have a little wind burn, but I was like, it looked ridiculous. So I blended it out as much as I could. So the E's that I'm using are actually for her hair. Again, I mentioned in Wednesday's video that I believe Kate Winslet was a redhead in this movie. Maybe I'm remembering it incorrectly. And I went back to look at pictures, but again, standard definition, and I couldn't even tell. They were like blurry. It's like we've gotten so accustomed to 4K and 1080p and these really crisp, clear images that looking back on them, I was like, okay. And it was really hard when we get to her outfit. I was like, is that black? Is it green? I couldn't tell. So since her hair is curly, I was adding in the colors here and there. and then going back and blending it and just making sure that the crown of her head and the top of her head had the lightest color. This is my favorite combination for a redhead, plus the YR28. But I really love that color combination, and I just think it turns out so pretty. Especially, it's prettier in person. So hopefully you'll be able to see it as we get to the end. But I made a little bit of a mess up right around her hairline. That little piece that's hanging over her forehead, I got a dot of ink around it, and I was like, oh, it's so obvious. But looking back at the footage, you'll see in just a second, it's not that obvious. It's not that obvious at all. So here I am. I'm going to bring in E33 to darken up their skin tones. And again, I was just trying to push that dot of color into the paper. So that's kind of how you blend Copic colors. It's pigment in a form of alcohol. So the pigment glides across the paper as the alcohol seeps into the pigment and alcohol seep into the paper. And that, so when you're using like the blender pen, you're not actually blending things, you're actually pushing the ink further into the paper. So I managed to hide it well. I did a very good job. I'm very proud of me. Okay, so for his hair, I used 59, 57, 34, and 53. I believe I got this color combo from Betty for like a dirty blonde, and I really like the way it looks. His hair on Monday was just a really flat color because it wasn't that important. Okay, so I was like, her dress has to be green, or it's close enough to a really deep forest green that I decided I'm just going to color it green. Now her shawl, I guess, was like this really gold pretty silk with like gold thread and embellishment running through it. So I went ahead and colored it that way. Okay, so for her dress, I'm using C10, G29, and G28. There's not a deeper G, like a sprucey color green, to deepen this up. So I went ahead and just brought in a really dark gray. And I feel like it worked really well with this, because when I blend, I go over the color that I've already put down, kind of pulling it out so they're blending together. And I really love how this dress turned out. It is so stinking pretty. And of course, redheads with green is just a gorgeous combination. When I was a kid, I always wanted to have a daughter that had green eyes and red hair. I ended up not having any kiddos because I was like, nah, never mind. But yeah, I would like to have green eyes or whatever, but I wasn't blessed with that, and that's okay. Okay, so for him, for Jack, he has a coat, and then he has a shirt and pants underneath. So I colored his coat a really dark brown, and I bring in some lighter browns for his not undercarriage. Let's see what you're trying to say. His pants. And again, this wasn't the main focus, but this is what I did. And I went ahead and just colored over the railing because I knew it was going to come in with a really deep kind of black. This is N8 or N10, I don't remember. And so coloring over it wasn't that big of a deal. So I'm going to bring in a black, this is a Micron brush pen. I love to deepen up the pupils before I come in and add in the white gel pen. So this is R30. And initially I was just going to go around them. And then I thought, you know what? I'm going to color in this heart. So I end up coloring in the heart behind them. And you guys, this card has my heart. I love this card so much. So what I thought to do is I'm going to give away all 3 cards from this year. So from this series, if you haven't already, sign up for my newsletter. Leave a comment down below. If you're already signed up, just say, hey, I've already signed up. And everybody on my newsletter list will be entered for a chance to win. And I'll announce the winner next week. And you will get these 3 cards from me in the mail. So yeah, so once I have that all colored, I'm going to bring in that gold gel pen from earlier, and I'm going to color in her scarf completely. I tried to add lines and dots and stuff, and I hated the way it looked. So I was like, you know what, we'll just color it in completely. Now, Wednesday's card, I did not add a sentiment to, and if you missed Monday's sentiment, you have to go read it because it was hilarity. But I decided to put "You're the King of My World" as the sentiment on this. And we're going to get that attached to an A2 size card. I'm going to add the sentiment. I'm going to pop the sentiment up using the remainder of that Scotch adhesive that I had, and then a couple of foam squares. And then once I do that, I am going to bring in a gold heart embellishment for one side of this, and that's it. This card was a little bit more involved, especially the fussy cutting of the initial mask. But I love the way it turned out. I think it turned out so pretty. I just love it so much. And I hope that you do too. So yeah, leave me a comment down below. Let me know which of these 3 cards were your favorite, or if you liked all of them. Here is a final look at all 3. Again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you again, Kevin and Kevin and Anne, for being so accommodating when surgery last year and no surgery last year and blah, 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 blah. I really love your faces, and I just appreciate all of your help, etc. So, all right, friends, I will probably see you this weekend for playing with me, and then next week for more cards. We're going to start birthday cards, so get ready. All right, I love your faces, and I'll see you in my next video.